Attention all personnel. Unscheduled
Ah.
pollination cycle is about to commence. Please evacuate the orchards at this time.
Okay.
Releasing the mosquitoes for pollination.
I've got to head there.
Cycle is now in progress.
What is that sound? And why am I sure we're about to find out?
I'm gonna go wide around these mosquitoes and try to get to the pollination control terminal. But let's have weapons ready. Okay, you can see them in swarms, so they're a bit like the they're a bit like, not, what are they called? The swarms. Oh, they're moving around. Ah, shit. Alright. There's a lot around here. Open up on the swarms of very small mosquitoes there. I expected slightly bigger mosquitoes. They're not dangerous, at least. This has been opened, so this was sealed. I suspected there might have been something in here. Alright. Let's abort the pollination cycle and bring them back to the hives quickly. Just to save any further lives. I don't know how many people got caught in there. Check recent activity. System has been illegally accessed by a person or persons not employed by the Rizzo Corporation. Brute force to trigger an unscheduled pollination cycle was used to override this device's protocols. Protected records and documents may not be compromised. Caution is advised. Okay, a bunch of messages from someone called Lawson. I can only read the outgoing messages. Okay, someone called Lawson. Hilda Lawson from Morris Chen. Hilda. Generally, when the co-workers get blasted out of their minds on Spectrum Vodka and one of them makes a joke about how wild it would be if someone puts wasps and mosquitoes together, he doesn't wake up the next day with a promotion and a couple 100,000 rabbit insects on his back porch. I can appreciate a good joke as much as the next guy, but I got a message earlier today about making sure I increase the quarterly yields, and it wasn't from you. If you wanted to, I don't know, bail me out sooner rather than later, I'd be most obliged. Hilda, I'll put it bluntly, this place is one bad key press away from total disaster. Earlier today, I accidentally selected the begin pollination cycle on this terminal. The cycle just activated. No password protection, no confirmation message, nothing. As it so happens, there was a scheduled tour making its way through the orchards at about that moment, so somehow that idiot groundskeeper's exterminator mechanicals got activated, giving the mosquitoes something to sting that wasn't the tour group. Those people barely got away with their lives, and I don't think we'll be so lucky next time. My supervisor has apparently scheduled me for some kind of standard medical treatment, but when I come back, I better have a message from you apologizing for not responding to my messages and containing an immediate transfer to somewhere that isn't here. I've had enough. And then he got a medical procedure. Hilda, I reread my last message to you and feel I owe you the deepest and most heartfelt of apologies. I have been an entitled bore since I received this promotion. In reality, I should have been thanking you. To oversee the day-to-day coming and going of creatures as majestic as these mosquitoes is a great honor. Congratulations on your promotion, by the way. I would have thought I'd be mad, especially considering how central my mosquitoes were to your new position, but since that treatment, I found it very difficult to stay mad about much of anything. I hope you enjoy Byzantium. Regards, Morris Chen. Alright. So someone basically overrode the pollination cycle by pressing buttons, so attempted to brute force the thing, and it just lit up a pollination cycle. And there is a... I don't know what it is, but there's a thing on the ground. Some kind of screwdriver looking thing. Scan the chemical makeup of the multi-tool. This multi-purpose tool would be nondescript anywhere else, but there's something strange about it here. Scan it, scan the chemical makeup.
The tool is comprised of 99% plastic, 0.5% steel, and 0.5% carbonated sugary beverage. Trace amounts of kerosene, alcohol, hydrazine, and liquid hydrogen also detected.
Okay. Inspect the casing. Construct a lever to remove the panel. I've got engineering 65. The casing is pockmarked and heavily scratched. It's been well used. You also notice an inch-long steel panel haphazardly nailed to the side. Alright. Engineering 65. You collect a nearby rod of metal and sliding it beneath the panel, push down on it until the panel comes free. As it falls away, you see that it was hiding a slug logo.
What did you find, Cap?
Cap? When have you started calling me Cap? It looks like whoever released the mosquitoes was a slug employee. Well, there were fuel traces on the multi-tool. Could be from the docks or the distillation station. That doesn't necessarily mean it's probably a slug device, but why did they cover it over unless they were just trying to hide their identity? But, you know. I think from the docks or the distillation station is probably the most pertinent piece of information.
You think it could be dissidents? Or some type of rival company?
It's also likely that whoever released the mosquitoes was a slug employee.
I know sublight deals in shadiness, but sending swarms of horrible insects after us is a new low.
Is it? Is it, Nyoka? Given what we've seen. Shouldn't we have realized by now that morality is dead? Okay, we gotta speak to the administrator now. Now, you're over there. You're in a different area. There's plenty of Spectrum vodka I gotta look at. But I want to check... Well, I gotta do the intern thing. I'm heading back down to the RR and DD labs to that area nearby just to see if perhaps the... I still haven't found the bloody... the intern's device. That's more footsteps. Yeah, that's the same footsteps. So I'm gonna head to this area here. And then probably look around up there, because I didn't look around enough. I just don't think there's gonna be anything up here. But, you know, I gotta check. Because I don't know. Pop over here. Ow! I didn't think it'd be that much of a fall. There's more purpleberry liqueur. These don't seem to have much in them. I've already searched through that bin, or someone has. It's another worker section over there. I don't see any evidence of another dropped thing. If it's just somewhere on the floor somewhere, I'm never going to find it. This is too big of an area to search. Worker brake shack discovered. Well, that might be something. Nanas, purpleberry bunch. The Dissonant Queen, Chapter 2. Shall we read another? Mr. N. Oh, I stole that. Did anyone see me? No. Good. Halcyon Helen encounters the Slugmen. Having fought their way past the numerous bandit ambushes and hostile automechanicals, Halcyon Helen and Olympus Opal had found themselves at the gates of the Dissonant hideout. "You're a fine partner. Easily better than my last," said Helen, coldly and like an absolute arsehole. "But I dare say these fiends outrank your typical anti-establishment scum. Many of them were scientists before they deserted their corporations, whereupon they stole technology for their own nefarious purposes. I've seen their abominations, and they're more than a typical person can handle. You should return to your job and to the place where you're needed." "Though I know my work was valuable," Opal said, "I am still pleased that I was promoted to assist in your quest to rid the galaxy of those who would threaten the colony's productivity. The two of us together will, I believe, be twice as effective in eliminating the enemies of the board." Helen did not respond, but instead bid her companion be silent, for she had seen that the gates of the Dissident hideout were no longer shut. Someone or something had opened them. God, they like their exposition, don't they? A lot of tell rather than showing. My favorite kind of writing.
You don't know how grateful I am to the morale improvement program. It changed my life.
The morale improvement program probably installed the slugs. But no sign of that, thing in here. With the card, the access card I'm looking for. But I'll keep searching. Someone doesn't want to die. Oh. You know what? Let's get rid of these lobblers. You happy now? You're not gonna die. So we got a small landing platform.
Great work.
I don't need that cutter. You can see from quite a distance with these things, but no such luck at present. You ever gonna tell me where you dropped this friggin' thing? Because I'm searching all over the place and can't seem to find it. Also, there's a dead diffusive host right outside your doorway. Might be relevant. Any
That's
idea?
the one, eh? I knew you couldn't resist my charms for long. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Unless you already have, and I've forgotten. In which case, I probably won't forget a second time.
I found a strange substance on the processing console. Does that have anything to do with you?
Well, maybe. I might have had a supersized cup of mixed purpleberry punch and lemon slab that I might have knocked over when I was running routine diagnostics. Look, I know what you're thinking, but I have the proper permit to mix those drinks. I just left it in my other work uniform.
I don't know if I believe her, but she's really trying her best.
She's clearly
Hey, we have a lot of
abjectly
uniforms. It's hard
incompetent.
keeping track of all your belongings.
Did you dump the drink before or after you removed the console's control panel cover?
How did you notice? The diagnostic normally takes hours, and that's only if humidity's low. I wanted to take the initiative to try and make it faster.
Well, I found a mix of toxic mix of fertilizer and weed killer on some purpleberry saplings. Thoughts?
Why should weed killer affect saplings? Weed killer. It's in the name. It should kill only weeds. That really seems like it's more on product design than on me.
They generally call it herbicide these days.
I really did think I was doing good by the orchards. But with all that you've told me, it sounds like I've done much more harm. I know it's a lot to ask, but is there a chance you could vouch for me to my boss? It might not seem like it, but I've been trying to take the initiative. I really do want to help.
Yeah, but you gotta have a... there is harm in it if you fuck it up while trying to make things better. I don't know, wouldn't that enable you to screw up even more? Call a spade here.
Well, it could, but not if I'm given proper supervision. Everyone has to learn somehow, right? I guess I'm not sure what more to say. I suppose I just hope you'll make the right decision. If not for me, then for the rest of the Rizzo's workers.
Okay, so that's what I was supposed to talk with you about. Alright, I've now officially spoken to her, and I didn't need to find the... She lost the access card. I thought I was looking for the access card. I think that was just generally a sign of her incompetence. So I'm just dumb. Alright, well, she got the better of me. Alright, so basically all of these problems is evidence of absolute abject incompetence from Anna Summers. But I kinda like her, you know, she's trying her best, she's just not very smart. You know. But she's kind of self-aware about her non-smartness. I don't want to see her fired. I think we got a lot bigger problems, frankly, and a lot greater evils than Anna Summers. So maybe I will vouch for her. Morally speaking, you know, she's not trying to be evil. And she's only, like, reduced productivity a little bit. And I don't know if she killed anyone by activating the Hodomechs, but still. You know, Rizzo's corporations has been attaching slugs to people to make them work harder and faster and better and constantly. When in actual fact... Oh, there's the Nut Hut. You know, she wants to help them, so maybe I will vouch for her. We'll see what I have to say. Mr. Hathaway.
You're back, I see. Glad Slug hasn't managed to scare you off.
I think it's more of a wonder that nothing in these law-forsaken orchards has managed to kill them.
I think you're just weak.
How's the investigation going?
Clyde.
You got a complete report for me yet?
I do. I've completed my investigation.
Alright. Let's hear the details.
A drink was spilled over the processing console, shorting it out.
A drink? I ain't never heard of no saboteur dumping drinks all over equipment to destroy it. I hate to say it, but that sounds more like worker carelessness.
How many times do I have to tell you this, old man? Slug isn't behind your problems. Slug wouldn't even need to cause you problems. Your own workers do enough.
A herbicide was mixed in with the fertilizer, which ended up killing the saplings.
Ha! Knew Slug was behind the damn sabotage.
Please. We're subtle, but that's too subtle. If we wanted to destroy your saplings, you'd have known them by the blackened remnants of their stems, not some half-assed poisoning.
Not a great defense, but I also took care of the roaming exterminated Automechs.
Huh. You didn't destroy any of them? Reckon I would have lost that bet. Thanks.
One less expense for you to explain to your bosses, Hathaway. Lucky you.
So what were the fine details of the sabotage anyhow? Were Slug's lackeys trying to get the mechanicals to kill all our waspitos?
No, it was just incompetence. You're worried that Slug is trying to mess with your livelihood?
Of course. And what better way to do that than by targeting our pollinizers? They'd be a hell of a pain to kill manually. But if you set the mechanicals to do it...
In your delusional fantasy, the waspitos wouldn't be out until next pollination cycle. Wouldn't someone notice the rampant mechanicals beforehand?
That seems like a question you should be asking yourself.
Okay, calm down. Is there a way to manually initiate a pollination cycle? Yes, there is.
Well, yes, it's possible to manually start and end cycles in Hive Control, but we keep a careful watch on it. And there have been no non-Rizzo's personnel in or out.
Stop wasting everyone's time, Hathaway. What you're proposing is infinitely less likely than an idiot maneuver by one of your incompetent
Which is what
workers.
it is.
I won't hear any further slander. Let's go through this one final time so even you can't confuse it, Hathaway. Slug didn't do a damn thing to your orchards. You're chasing ghosts.
Talk about ghosts all you like, but someone was screwing with my orchards. If it wasn't Slug, then who the hell was it?
I could say nothing. Anna Summers caused you problems, but she didn't do it on purpose, or Anna Summers was responsible. Admit incompetence. Just blame her. Say nothing and kinda leave it. Oh, that's a... I gotta tell her, I think she needs to be removed and probably fired, but I don't think she needs to be killed.
Summers? The intern? I didn't really take her for a meddlesome type. But now
I'll
that
just...
think
I
about it,
can't
that's why
lie
she'd be a
about it, because it
perfect
seems
saboteur.
wrong.
I'll deal with her later. Right now, we of the Orchards have to settle things with Slug. I reckon that you're about as impartial a third party as we're gonna get. Can you mediate?
Ah, what the hell. The Orchardist seems to get off on complicating what should be a simple deal, but at this point, I just want to be paid and go. The pollen in the air is agitating.
You got allergies, have you? Alright, Rizzo's will have bits to spare after the Brown unveiling, could pay then with interest. Or, you wasted Slug's time and tried to blame your screw-ups on them, pay up. Or, Slug's person making productivity in the Orchards worse, don't give them another bit. I'll persuade 65. We'll have bits to spare after the Brown unveiling.
Never like paying bits if I ain't gotta, but you're right. If we get production finished now, we'll be able to pay later.
Middle road.
Slug boy?
Slug boy.
I think that's the first interesting suggestion I've heard since our back and forth began. Slug can wait for an increase in costs. I hope we won't have this conversation again.
Now that that's out of the way, we can discuss the intern. If she was really causing all that trouble, I will delight in severing her from her job.
Alright, I'm gonna suggest that you... Your intern confessed to being inept. She honestly seemed like she just wanted to help. I would say she needs supervision, at best. Probably someone who can tell her when she's messing up. She's not, like, unreasonable. She just doesn't know what she's doing. She needs guidance.
Even if I were inclined to believe you, that's some damn severe incompetence you're talking about. I still wouldn't want someone like that working the Orchards.
I'm just going to give you the relevant information. Perhaps you could be of use to each other.
What the hell are you proposing? Her to burn the Orchards down while I stand behind her and applaud? We ain't got nothing to exchange.
The intern's an honest worker. I bet she could do an excellent job with your guidance.
She wants to help, does she? You know what? I'll call your bluff. She can keep at it with close supervision, but if she screws up even once, she's out.
Fair enough. Put her on
Here's your
probation.
bet, with a little extra for getting to the bottom of things. It's gonna be real interesting in the Orchards for the foreseeable future. Thanks, I guess.
You're welcome, I suppose. Well, we still got the problem with those effusive hosts, but I think that'll be dealt with down the line. All right, yeah, no, I think I managed to mediate that one and get Summers what she wanted. Everyone got what they wanted. It was a happy middle road ending, as tends to be the case in Outer Worlds. Right. Okay. Next, I probably want to. That's over there. Nope. This is near. This should be nearby. Ah, yes. I'm gonna buy some Spectrum from you if I can. With your creepy face.
Hi
Oh,
again.
God.
Might I recommend a Rizzo's Dark Matter bar? It's so dark, not even light can pierce it. Isn't science wonderful? Now I'd
God
love
help
to
me.
get you something, maybe a couple somethings. Whatever you like, I can sell it to you at a low, low price.
Thank you. Have you sold any Spectrum from the storage warehouse shipment?
Wow, what a strange question. I'm much too delighted to be suspicious. I sold lower-level Spectrums to workers from RR&DD Labs, Hive Control, and the Conservatory. Jacob's predecessor also splurged briefly on a bottle beyond his pay grade, and Black Hole Birdie bought my most expensive Spectrum when he visited. I wish he'd bought more. Oh, if you're looking for your own Spectrum, remember that you can always buy from the Nut Hut or the Grand Colonial Bar, so long as you have the bits to back up your taste.
Alright, then I will see what you have for sale. What have you got? Rum and something. I'm looking for this. I've already given them the red. And there's some glacial age glacial water. So, yeah, they don't have anything. They've only got Spectrum Red, which I've already turned in. Alright, Spectrum Vodka is all over the place. You know what? I can come back to this, can't I? Yeah, I'm gonna come back to this. I want to report to the administrator and then see what happens next. You know, this feels like a bit too much. I've been spending so much time in the Orchards. I want to head off, so I'm gonna pop back to Administrator Ludovico And, oh my god, the way this is bent around. I'm going to head back to Administrator Ludovico, and we're going to report in. Back into the Grand Colonial. I might head to the bar and see if they've got any Spectrum that isn't red or... What's the other one I've already got in? Red or orange is useless to me. Rip. In memoriam is what that says. I was trying to read it. In memoriam. I've got a shrine to her now. I know. Okay, I suppose we speak to the administrator via the...
With how Black Hole Bertie hasn't been seen since Helen's death. Awfully.
Through our location. I'm going to speak to the bellhop again. Hello.
You've returned. Hope you're finding the hotel to your liking.
I am.
Now, what can I lend a hand with?
Wish I'd seen more of it. Nothing. You haven't got anything to say.
What floor would you like to visit?
Bring me to the penthouse suite.
Next stop, the finest seat in the house.
Thank you. Ooh. The Rangers mascot is just here.
You think they'd object to me setting up a tanning station here?
Okay, we're all just gonna stand here and look at them?
There's no room service, right? Just asking.
Eridanos is a technological marvel, and they use it as a tourist destination to sell sweets and alcohol.
Okay, everyone seems interested in this. Hello. What are you doing here, and how have you not noticed us?
Oh, sweet gibbering law. Where'd you come from?
We've been here for a while.
Sorry, let me just get back in character. Whoa, 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 it's not what it looks like.
That's actually quite funny. Pretty sure it looks like the Rizzo's mascot is in my room going through my things.
Looks can be deceiving, friend. For example, what looks like misappropriation may, in fact, be a misunderstanding. I seem to have wandered into the wrong premises. I have mistaken this penthouse for the Rizzo's Rangers locker room on account of my headgear cutting off my peripheral vision.
That would explain why you can't see us. Felix, break his legs. I like that one. Determination 45. Felix, break his legs.
Both his legs? Could we leave him with one good leg? I'm pretty sure crippling the mascot's bad luck for the Rangers.
Don't fight with me.
Looks like you've got some mascots of your own, except they're heavily armed. I am acting on behalf of Mr. Black Hole Bertie, the Holmeister, the Hack Attack. I don't have a lot of time, but Mr. Bertie sent me to retrieve a message, something he recorded for Ms. Bellamy while he was off his kilter.
Oh, what's the hurry? Well, no, actually, I'm gonna lie. You're out of luck, I found it already, and it's pretty incriminating.
You found the recording? Oh, well, that's just sweeter than a fistful of purple berry punch. Oh, law, Bertie's gonna slaughter me like a woolly cow. Will you meet me later, over at the pilot house? I swear, from the bottom of my employment contract, I will tell you everything I know about Ms. Bellamy's demise.
Tell me what you know, or they'll have to rinse your remains out of that mascot outfit.
What? But I can't? Please don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I can't. Not here. I'm sorry. The Pilot House complex. Meet me there, and I'll tell you everything, I swear.
This place bugged. And off he goes. Oh, that was the wrong button. I just needed my inhaler after that. Okay. Everyone's just popped back. So, yeah, okay, I didn't know Rizzo's had a mascot much like the Spacer's Choice one, with the mustached purple berry on his head. But, you know, we'll get some information out of him. I don't see why he wouldn't talk here unless he thinks the place is bugged. So we better keep our voices down and contact the administrator.
I understand there was an incident at the orchards. The pollination cycle began without my authorization. Fortunately, you managed to save most of the hive. The wasp-ketos are essential to the orchards, you see. Losing them would have cost us months of production.
Well, I'm glad to be of service. And more than a few lives, does that not bother you?
The orchards can be a dangerous place, but my workers understand the hazards.
Do they?
Something about this incident troubles me. The circumstances are suspicious. But let's concentrate on the matter at hand. Have you discovered anything?
Reach for a cigarette. The plot thickens, Administrator. Again, we have to do that in a Poirot accent. The plot thickens, Administrator. And I'll just say, yeah, you could say that. I don't think my character smokes.
You have my attention.
Dr. Blossom is dead, murdered by an unknown killer. Helen insists on touring the Rizzo's R&D labs. I'll just start with Dr. Blossom's dead.
That's deeply upsetting. Dr. Leora Blossom was an extraordinary scientist and a friend. We have a murderer on the loose, Inspector, as if the death of Halcyon Helen wasn't enough of a blow to our facility.
She was in trouble when I found her. The other workers had turned violent. All I know is that she recognized the killer. That's interesting. I hadn't considered that. She did.
Interesting. The Rizzo's family is a small family, Inspector. Most of us recognize one another. Still, any information is good information. It troubles me to believe Leora could have been murdered by one of our own. If there's anything else you'd like to share, you have my attention.
Well, Helen insisted on touring the RR&DD labs.
Insisted? That's interesting. We'd scheduled a tour of the lab for Helen. Purely a public relations event to be held sometime in the indeterminate future. Then again, Helen and I were not well acquainted. I can't speak to her intentions.
No, me neither at present. She spent a little time at the orchards. I found evidence she was at a picnic.
A picnic? I don't recall
With
approving a
Bertie.
private social gathering at the orchards. I'll have to make a note of this information.
Do you have to approve every picnic?
Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Was there anything else?
Someone stole data from one of your terminals in the research and development.
That's troubling, to say the least. Any transfer of proprietary data is strictly prohibited without my permission.
You're worried about your own control of the area. You can't steal that much data without an expensive cartridge. Our thief had resources.
A clever deduction, Inspector. That gives us a little information to work with.
This happened just before the mosquito attack. Someone was trying to stop me. Or whatever was in that data had to be important. I think this is a more important piece of information.
Yes, I share your suspicions. Someone didn't want you following their trail. This feels like more than corporate espionage. Someone's playing with us, Inspector. And I have never in my life enjoyed games. Did you discover anything else?
I'll let you know if I learn anything else.
This incident at the orchards must be connected to Helen's murder somehow. I don't know how, but I feel it in my marrow. My apologies, Inspector. This case is under your jurisdiction, not mine. I leave it in your hands. When you're ready, I suggest a word with the hotel coroner. She should have finished her autopsy by now.
Why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in my room?
Why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in your room? I'm afraid I don't understand. Is this the lead-up to a joke?
Is there something about my tone that suggests I'm joking?
My apologies. I can tell you're not, as they say in Terra 2, twisting my limb.
Doesn't sound like you were involved in
There
it.
was a mascot in your room. The Grand Colonial doesn't offer that kind of room service. I think.
You've got a serious security problem in this hotel.
Cedric has a security problem in this hotel.
Oh, of course, you
But
don't.
Your point is
It's not.
well taken.
It's not your concern.
In any case, let me apologize for this unfortunate business. I'm sure this mascot meant no harm.
I'm gonna keep the possibility that he may have information I need to know on the lowdown, but if they have bugged my room, I don't want them thinking that I'm trying to hide it from them. I'll take your word for it.
Was there anything else?
Nope. That's all. Yay! Alright, let's spend these. I've got to work something up. And I think I want... Kind of want to bring up hack. No, not hack, lockpick. Sneak seems pretty good. I got through that sneaking section pretty easily. So, let's... Yeah, let's bump... You know what, let's bump science. Screw it. And a perk... pick one, anyone. Whenever you're affected by a harmful combat effect, you deal increased damage. I seem to be affected by harmful combat effects a lot, so let's have that. Okay. Anyone else got perks, by the way? No. Alright, now we gotta speak to the coroner.
What floor would you like to visit?
Exit the grand... the guest... The lobby. No, I've gotta go back to the lobby, I think.
To the lobby we go.
And it'll be Nyoka and Parvati this time. It'll continue to be Nyoka and Parvati. That is a very big gun you're holding there, Halcyon Helen. Okay. Oh, you do have perks. I just have to activate them outside. Fine. Yeah, have your cunning strikes. Yeah, I'll just give you all your personal ones. Tactical time. Yeah, I suppose that's useful enough. Right, I've got a... Well, I can either go to the price of toss ball, but it was a Rizzo's Rangers. It was a toss ball team. Was sent by Black Hole Bertie. Do we know that? I don't remember getting that information, but it could have been. Oh no, yes, I did know that information. Excuse me, sorry. I forgot he was looking for something that possibly incriminated Black Hole Bertie. Okay. Speak to Dr. Goodnight about Helen's autopsy. I want to start with that. That seems like immediate information I want to know. Then I could talk with Tossball guy. Because I don't actually remember if I know how Helen actually died. Hello, Doctor. Broadly, it doesn't look like she's been severely damaged. I mean, she's in one piece.
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report.
Let's hear it.
Ruth Bellamy was killed by plasma damage to the upper vertebrae, the occipital bone, and...
Shot in the back of the head with a plasma gun.
Consolation, her death was instantaneous and painless.
It is.
I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, you know, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure.
Someone was obviously trying to poison. Are you sure it wasn't just the hotel food?
The thought occurred to me. I tested this hypothesis by vacating the contents of my stomach and testing for the presence of the same toxin.
Dedicated.
Slightly elevated levels of mercury and an alarming amount of blue food coloring. But other than that, no. I'm certain it wasn't, as you put it, just the hotel food.
Alright, so someone was definitely trying... Oh, when we're talking, you called her Ruth Bellamy, not Halcyon Helen.
Oh, how curious. I do believe you're right. I wonder if this has something to do with the autopsy process. She was Halcyon Helen up until the moment I brought her to the operating table. But as soon as I cut her open, I stopped thinking of her as Halcyon Helen. It's almost as if she stopped being an icon and became a human being.
How very deep. That's pretty grisly, Doc.
You're a freelancer of some repute. Surely you're no stranger to seeing the interior organs of a human being. Although, I suspect you do most of your work with a gun, and not a scalpel.
That is correct. I notice you have patient logs on your terminal.
I do keep logs of every patient I treat. Despite appearances, I'm not merely a coroner. I'm also the Grand Colonial's only, and therefore greatest, doctor.
That's... You seem pretty happy with your work.
I'm very pleased with my work. Cedric Kincannon is an outstanding employer. What I'm about to tell you, do me a favor and keep this between us.
Cross your fingers and behind your back. Inspector's honor.
That's what I like to hear. I'd much rather work for Slug than Rizzo's. Rizzo's makes a great show about the happiness of its workers, but I think it's all rather artificial.
Very artificial.
I'm paid well. I work hard. I'm given respect and a reasonable degree of freedom. Cedric Kincannon runs a tight ship. Most of us enjoy working for Slug.
I feel like the corporations could learn a thing or two from Slug.
Will there be anything else?
They actually seem like they have a pretty well-run ship. Okay. So someone attempted to poison her before shooting her in the back of the head with a plasma weapon. That sounds reasonable. And there may be more information. Spencer Woolwich may be worth talking to, and the concierge as well. Alright. I'll speak with the concierge. There may be some gossip. Some more gossip, anyway. She does love it.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector?
Well, I need access to the VIP guest floor.
I'd love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it.
I could bribe. I could persuade or intimidate. The only guest who'd have a problem with me being up there would be the murderer.
That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice. That has a nice ring to it.
Doesn't
Let
it
me
just?
set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done.
Alright.
You can now come and go as you please.
That gets me up to Spencer. Alright, so that's what I wanted to talk with you about. Alright.
The brochure never mentioned
I will talk to Spencer, but first things first, I'm going to commune with Tossball Man, which is outside. So I'm going to head to the meeting spot. I'm going to find out what that weirdo was doing in my apartment. Then we'll come back for Woolwich.